Okay, my name is Andile Nqandela. I'm from a small town called Middelburg in the Mpumalanga province. I'm a mechanical engineer by profession, so I'm running a company called Premise Engineering, which was founded in 2013. What we do mining services, so we give mechanical engineering services to the mines, especially coal mines in and around Mpumalanga. And a bit of platinum mines. So we service their rotating equipment, that is the pump systems and the valve systems. We refurbish old equipment and obsolete equipment.
Absolutely, and 3 years, just over 3 years in the business, what have been some of the challenges and opportunities you've picked up along the way?
Well, there's been quite a few. One I can maybe highlight is the transformation issue, where we've sort of battled to get access into the mainstream, of business. You find, as a small business, you get asked things that are more for established companies, things like ISO 9001 certification, which you may not at the time have it. Big equipment, which at the time you may not have it. You're still improvising with whatever equipment you have, whatever resource you have. Qualified professionals, that companies expect that you employ professional people when you actually using maybe temporary labor for when you have work, because otherwise it creates overheads for your company. So that have been our issues, and also that this access to markets, especially with the giants, based on those issues I've mentioned.
So you're almost coming up against a sort of a monopoly effect.
Yes.
And as a young entrepreneur, that must be quite frustrating when you just can't, and the door's not opening all the time.
It's frustrating, but eventually, if you then realize what it takes to be an entrepreneur, you then realize that you don't sit and do nothing about it. You have to do it. That's why we're approaching our government agencies that are there to help small businesses. Now I've got sponsor for implementing ISO 9001, which is a great thing happening this year. From CEDA is sponsoring the full certification, and we also approach DTI for assistance in terms of giving us exposure to such events where we can network, because on a normal basis, if you ask for an appointment from the PA, you get 10 around, 10 back, But in such events, you're able to meet up with the right person, and then after you take up talks later on, it becomes easy.
So would you say the government's been proactive in some regard helping you financially?
Well, not the government has been proactive. We ourselves have been proactive to approach government and sort of propose or give them what is our challenges and show them how is it that they can assist us as small companies to move forward.
And the ISO, is that the energy efficiency regulation?
No, that's a quality management system. So it's basically to say you have system in everything that you execute. You have good communication channels, you deal well with the non-conformances that may happen, and with that it guarantees that the check, which is safety, health and quality of whatever service you're offering, it's up to standard. Yes.
And when you're designing your next project, what are the key safety and security issues that you plan for?
Now, every time, based on the feedback coming from the customer surveys, which is part of ISO quality management system, non-conformances, which gives you the corrective actions. We forever improving on our next service or product that we manufacture. So it becomes a continuous improvement activity that the company goes through forever. So every time we can never get to a point where we say we are now okay, everything is perfect. There's always the system is such that there's always a gap for improvement.
As a young entrepreneur, do you find you have to work a little bit harder to gain people's buy-in, so to speak?
Not so much. I guess it's the techniques that one uses when approaching certain individuals. The key thing before networking, something that we are never taught. We always taught to network, but something we never taught is to say, how do you network? So we've been taught, even from the old men that we go with. They always tell us, research the person you want to meet, know what they do, get to know them. So when you speak to them, you can relate to them. And with that, I haven't found it difficult at all to engage with anybody, or I've never really had that problem, because I'm always asking also from my side to say, how do you, getting various techniques and tips of how to do it efficiently.
Absolutely, and technology is key to efficiency. How do you see that playing more and more of a role in your business?
Yes, definitely. I mean, in this exhibition rooms as well, I've met some overseas technologists, people from Finland that are having new technology which doesn't exist in South Africa. Me being here, I'm able to see the technology, and probably should there be any synergies between me and those companies, something to look at, to think about if we want to introduce the technology here in South Africa. But at the moment, we're still concerned about enhancing our own products that we are currently having, our own services that we are currently offering to the mines, and make them more efficient, because there's still a lot to be done. You'll remember that we're still in a growing business, developing business, so we are not at that stage where we are established, and now we need to look at more innovative things. We want to master what we're currently offering, and then at the later stage, but our minds are always open for new ideas.
And what are some of your current services that are really meeting a demand in the industry?
That is, I think in the recent years has been the repair and the refurbishment side of the business. That is now when we take very old equipment. Mines have been told budgets are tight. There's no money for capex. So use what you have, and that's where we come in, saying, look, we can reverse engineer this item. To buy it from Germany cost you 5 million. We can repair it for $1 million, and then you save money, you save cost. We are there for technical support, and so that has been our drive in terms of giving alternatives. We are out there going to events, exhibitions like that, and we're seeing a lot of alternatives to the end user who's sitting at the mine, which is typically our engineer, our customer sitting at the mine, running his production, and we come in there and we give them the possibilities out there, and we help them create the solutions for their productions.
Absolutely, and in terms of energy, it's very important as you go north of the border. You see more and more mines creating their own energy on-site, solar, diesel, gas generation.
Yeah, no, definitely that is happening. I mean, Sasol, even with Anglo, I read the other time they wanted to put up energy plant for themselves, but I feel it's good that our country is moving towards that renewable energy. I've read in the past that there was a big solar open again that's adding a lot to a grid. So those are fascinating news for me, because I'm also coming from the energy sector. Eskom, I used to work as an engineer at Eskom, so I understand the dynamics around it.
What's happening at Eskom? No comment. And and your plans for 5 years, you seem like an what do you call that, ambitious person. What are your plans for the next 5 years?
For me, I'm looking at becoming within our dominating territory, which is Middelburg and the Highveld of Mpumalanga. That's where many of the power stations and the coal mines are surrounded. So I want to see Brimis Engineering being the engineering partner of choice, being able to run turnkey projects, being a principal contractor when there is an outage or a shutdown, or being able to run that project, manage the work from A to Z, which is commissioning and operating, from the design point of view. Yes.
And all the way to mine closure.
Exactly.
And the old mines, instead of just closing them, are there any other innovative ways we can use these mines?
Unfortunately, I'm not too clued up with the geology part of the mining itself. I do not have much information regarding it.
Robotics, do you see that coming into mining at any stage?
Robotics?
And automation, and full automation and that kind of thing?
Not much, because of the policies that we have with the TMR and South Africa as a whole. We still need the labor-intensive part of things. Yes, technology-wise, we do have this more efficient machinery that just enhances the operations, but I still feel the manual part of it will still play a long role going forward. And these technologies will be done more on the newer mines, and maybe that's for the next generation.
Exactly, right, for the next generation. Yes. And your outlook for the rest of the year, things picking up a bit?
Yes, look, we've made good networking out of the Indaba, and most appointments we have it back home in Johannesburg, inland. So we've secured some appointments for some people that we couldn't meet here, and I think it's opened up some access for us to start some engagements with them. And I think there's good prospects. I now understand the bigger picture as well. By the way, this was my first Mining Indaba attendance, so I've learned a lot about the mines, how they operate, and now going forward, I think I can offer much better service because I understand what they all concerned about.
You're involved in coal mining. What are some of the ways we can clean up coal mining? Make it slightly cleaner and less of an impact on the environment.
Coal mining.
That's a tricky one.
That's a tricky one because, look, with the existing infrastructure, there's a big moves with the environmental, the carbon tax being imposed, the legislation, regulators trying to minimize the impact that we're having. So I think the country is going in a good direction using those, and I see there's a lot of environmental consulting companies that are coming with new ideas of how to reduce the damage to the environment. And I think for the experts in those fields are doing well. And I'm seeing it on TV, I'm seeing conferences, means people are concerned about it and they are talking about it. And the coal mines are also in the spotlight. I know for sure that we spoke about the green energy earlier, the solar systems, the wind farms. Those are initiatives that even ESCOM itself is supporting some of those initiatives. So I think it's going well, but it will take some time for us to truly make a greater impact.
Absolutely. Well, you've got plenty of time. Thank you
very much, Greg.